Welcome back. Big news today. Apple and Formula One reaching a 5-year U.S. media rights deal that will bring all the races to Apple TV in the U.S. Apple will be paying about $140 million per year for the rights, according to our reporting. Joining us now is the CEO of Cadillac Formula One team and TWG Motorsports is Dan Tauris. Dan, it's great to talk to you. I know you're in Austin for the big race this weekend. What does this deal represent to you? It's a big change from Disney's ESPN having U.S. rights to going to Apple.
Yeah, I think it's a big change. And with change comes innovation. Coming off the heels of the smashing success of F1, the movie, we now have Apple coming to Formula One to bring the broadcast rights starting in 2026. And from a Cadillac Formula One perspective, we couldn't be more excited.
I mean, you have an interesting story as well, because you're not on the grid yet, but you're coming next season as the first American-based team, right? You're going to be based here in this country, and I think the Apple deal also is a recognition that the U.S. market is very important and continues to grow. What are your hopes for the TV rights deal? What fans will be able to experience on Apple?
Yeah, I mean, I think coming off the success of Drive to Survive and now the movie, these have created opportunities to bring a lot of new fans to Formula One, in particular in the U.S. And I think when we see over 50 million people in the U.S. identifying as Formula One fans, we now need to get them watching races. And I think this Apple deal is a great step in that direction. And of course, again, from the Cadillac perspective, as we're trying to grow our fan base, particularly in the U.S., the timing couldn't be better.
Yeah, because there is this debate out there about whether F1 has peaked in the U.S. We have 3 races now. We've seen the big growth out of Drive to Survive and the movie. And clearly, F1 is getting higher than what it got from the ESPN deal, which I think was around $85 million per year. So is there a lot more growth in this country? I know you're making that bet.
I think there's a lot more growth for Formula One. Innovation is one of the key pillars in Formula One, and then really just getting more fans to see, what Formula One is all about. I think when anyone gets to see Formula One up close, they're just enamored with the technological wonders, that these cars are, the racing, the storylines. I think Apple's ability to tell these stories to American fans, to create these cultural moments, I think we're only just starting to see the beginning of the growth potential in the U.S.
Yeah, I mean, it is interesting that so many of the partners in recent years, since the Liberty acquisition several years ago, so many of the partners and the sponsors are American companies. I mentioned Amex and Salesforce and AWS. I mean, that's who the sponsors, not to mention the team sponsors, which are so many American companies. How's that going for you as you try to attract new partners?
Yeah, it's been great. We've seen a lot of interest in Cadillac, in Cadillac Formula One, Cadillac as a brand. And so being a new team coming on the grid, it's been a very exciting time. I think there are a lot of U.S. corporations that want to participate on a global stage, and Formula One's the place to do it. But we've also seen a lot of interest in Cadillac Formula One from a global standpoint. I think Formula One has the ability to not only create brand awareness for these companies, but also to change the perception of brands quickly. And that really shows the power of Formula One. And again, we're seeing that interest in Cadillac as we build up our commercial team.
What's your pitch to them? Because, I mean, the reason we're covering it so much more on CNBC, besides the fact that I'm obsessed with it, is that so many businesses are getting involved in this sport and sponsoring. And now it's actually moving from the corporate space into private equity and into the alternative investment space as they try to appeal to retail investors. So what is their payoff if they partner with a team?
Yeah, so in partnering with the team, again, you get this exposure to Formula One. It's the place to be. I think when you look at some of the different races all over the globe, from the Middle East to Asia, Europe and the U.S., the money that's coming to those races, but also the social reach, the media reach that the sport has. And again, I think this ability to bring a cool factor to brands that not only want that brand awareness, but to reach a younger demographic, to reach a stronger female demographic, and to be able to change the perception around those brands. Formula One has that power, and I think the brands are really seeing the return there, and I think that's why this is the place you need to be for emerging brands.
How much does it cost to start a Formula One team from scratch?
A lot. No, it's I mean it's north of $1 billion when you consider all of the aspects that go into, from a real estate standpoint, just growing the operations. It's not for the faint of heart to get into Formula One. It's a big road, coming in, and I think we've had just a little over a year to build out the Cadillac Formula One team. And it's every major work stream that you could think of from an operation, and we're doing them simultaneously as we go to compete against the biggest names in Formula One, next year in Melbourne, starting in 2026. And so we're up for the challenge, and it's an exciting time.
Yeah, we'll look forward to following the story, Dan, as you gear up for the next season. Thank you for joining us on this big new TV rights deal. Dan Towers, the Cadillac Formula One team CEO, and disclosure, I am part of the advisory board of the McLaren F1 team. When no, I do not change tires, David. I'm just sort of officially a fan, is really what it means.
Is that really what it means? Because it sounds very important.
It sounds important.
But it is
important
really enough that you have to disclose it, I guess? Is that what I'm...
Yeah. I have a bias for Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri, who are the McLaren
team.
Drivers. And they're the winners right now, too, which is great. Yeah.
Well, you're a winner, too, Sarah.
Thank you.
So there you go.
It must be my presence on the advisory board.
You're all together. I would still like to see you in there in the pit.
I can't change a tire, and I can't drive a car.